This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by Ted Cheeseman over Zoom. Ted, first and foremost, congratulations on your victory this past weekend against Sam Eggington. Just talk to me about the fight, Ted. You know, what's your kind of reflections on your unanimous decision win?
It's a great fight. It seems like it's had a really good come across really well to the fans, and everyone took liked the fight and enjoyed the fight. So it's great to sort of be involved in one of them fights where everyone's saying it could be fight of the year and stuff, and also be the winner.
What was your kind of just go back to the beginning of the week for me, Ted, and what was kind of the environment like being trapped inside the bubble, as it was called, you know, the matchroom bubble? How did you find kind of that fight week in comparison to a normal fight week?
I think it was really relaxing for us as fighters, because basically all we had to do was just laze about in the hotel, obviously make the last bit of weight, but we weren't dropping no tickets off and picking up money and running around and getting our last bits. Everything was sort of organised weeks before, because you had to be ready to go in the hotel. And I enjoyed it, really. I just relaxed, watched TV and stuff, played a bit of Xbox, and just fully focused on the fight.
So I know you all had kind of allotted times for the gym. How did you find kind of trying to stick to that and just kind of shedding those last few pounds off as you got closer to the fight night?
Obviously, Tony sort of set out times that was good for us. So I picked times that were good for us. So it was all right, really. It was good. Obviously, by that time, there's not really much more to be done in the gym. As you say, it's just about making sure that you're on the weight. And I've done my weight really well. I mean, usually I've done it a lot worse than what I've done. Like in the past, I've done a lot worse, and this time it's done really well. So it was good. Everything sort of went to plan. No, at certain days, I think, of course, something's got to go wrong soon, because everything's going so smooth at the moment, and it never does go like this for me. So it was good.
And then obviously coming into fight night, what was the experience like boxing in Matchroom Square Gardens? And, you know, how did you find it without any fans in attendance?
It was great, you know what I mean? Communicated well with Tony during the rounds and through the rounds, and the venue was unbelievable. The ring walkout, again, unbelievable. And I don't think, unless I went and boxed in bloody a massive arena in America or something, I don't think for a world title, I don't think I'd ever get another ring walk like that. As good as the fight campaign. It's great, obviously, to be the first one, since now we've set the bar high, and I think it's going to take a lot to top mine and Sam's fight.
Delving further into your fight with Sam, what's your, you know, when you was in there with him, the general consensus is you was the better of the first two in the first half, and maybe Sam was the better in the second half. How did you feel when you was in there? What was your thoughts with regards to the fight itself, and how did you actually score it?
Do you know what? I ain't had a chance to sit there and properly score the whole fight, but like I know in my head that like when I was in there, I thought I won the first 6 rounds easy, and it was comfortable. But then, obviously, in the last 6, I think Sam's plan was let me sort of work in the early rounds, tire out, and I'm going to try and run. He can bully and get on top of me in the last 6. But I knew once I sort of cruised in the first 6 that all I had to do was stay in there and win a few more of these last 6. And I knew Sam was trying to break my arm. But my regret now when I look back at the Scott Fitzgerald's fight is I believe I won a lot of the early rounds, and I thought by the end I'd done enough that I didn't have to mix it, and I was better off not taking no risks, and because I felt I'd done enough already to win the fight. Because I feel, obviously, once you win more than 6 rounds of a fight, as long as you don't get knocked down or stopped, you've won more rounds, you won the fight. But it didn't happen that night. But this fight, in my head, my career was on the line, and I thought I'm not letting it sort of go where I'm making it look messy and I'm making it look like I'm trying to nick the fight. I thought I'm going to try and get the better of these exchanges. And as much as Sam's trying to break my heart, I'm going to try and break his heart.
Did you feel the pressure in there? You just mentioned, you felt like your career was on the line. Was that playing on your mind throughout the week? Did you feel the pressure in the ring that you had to win?
Yeah, I was confident the whole week, but that was the only thing in the back of my head that was sort of, like you say, putting a lot of pressure on myself because it's a massive thing. I said to people, like, I'm sitting here now knowing that I'll hopefully box again in December and have another big fight. And I've got a lot of opportunities. Or I could have been sitting here now, my hand and my head still gutted and thinking I've got to try and find a new career and something else. And now I've done that, I think next time I go in the ring, I'll be twice a fighter because there won't be so much worry in my head.
Obviously, just to continue there, Ted, there were some brilliant encounters between yourself and Sammy Marin, particularly that 12th round where you was both just kind of leaving it all in there. And when you
Yeah.
put that up to your head at that time, you yourself didn't necessarily need to get involved in that manner. But what's your recollection of that final round?
You know what? Like I said, I've had these 2 fights where I thought I won and it ain't gone my way. And at times of fights, I thought, like when I was in Fitzgerald, I thought, let me try and move. Let me not swing away. Let me try and move and not get hit with silly shots. And this fight, it was totally different. I thought, there's no way I'm getting out this ring and thinking, I ain't left it in it. Do you know what I mean? And that's what made me, even in the 12th round, it's hard to sort of pinpoint everything in the fight until you watch it. But now, obviously, there's a lot going around the clock, so I watch that 12th round a lot. And you see, obviously, I'm nicking it in the early part of the round, and Sam lands a few shots and starts flowing, and like the commentators sort of go mad, think I'm gone. And I swing back, like I said, he was trying to break my heart and try and get me out there. And when I swung back, you see, I sort of rocked him again and put him back, and it looked like I was going to get him out of there. So it was like, it's funny because a few people rang me up and it's like, bloody hell, Ted, it's like a Rocky fight. But it's good to come out of a fight that's so good and not everyone saying, oh, it's a great fight, Ted. Unlucky, it don't matter, you can push on. Now it's lovely to be in a fight where everyone's going, it's a great fight, Ted. You're champion again. And that, like, it's great. It's a great feeling.
There was a lot of expectation on the fight that he would turn out to be, as good as what he was. But did you, in your own honest opinion, before fight, did you ever anticipate he would kind of set a light as well as what he did?
It's hard to say, you know what I mean? I always knew it was going to be a good fight. And like I said before the fight, I believed that if I wanted to, I could have stood there from round 1. Do you know what I mean? But I thought, let me try and make this clear. Do you know what I mean? And it's like I said, it's feeling so easy early on. Do you know what I mean? I was hitting Sam what shots won. I hurt him, rocked him bad in the second round. And I usually would have jumped on him like a lunatic. But as when I was in the hotel, I was watching his fights all week. And Sam don't really get knocked down. He gets hurt and stopped on his feet. So I thought, I'm not wasting energy. I know he thinks I'm going to die in the last few rounds. But I was in shape, like really good shape for the Fitzgerald fight. But nowhere near as good shape as what I was for this fight. This fight meant everything to me, do you know what I mean? And Sam, again, is a big scout, you know what I mean? He's had a lot of good wins. He's won a lot of big titles. And it's sort of like, it's put me from everyone starting to think I was the bottom of the bunch again to probably now being top of the bunch again.
I've just spoken to John Pegg a matter of probably 20, 30 minutes ago, Ted, and he said, for him, a round either way, he wouldn't have complained. He's more than congratulatory to yourself with your victory and to your team. But the one thing that he was certainly not happy about was kind of the commentary. And he said that the commentary seemed to be biased towards yourself. I don't know whether you've had a chance to watch commentary back at all or if anything at all. But when you was in the ring, could you hear the commentary?
Not really, no. It's more, I was tunnelled in and like every now and then I'd hear Tony, you know what I mean? And I'd like sort of be winning a round, but maybe trying to do too much at some points. And Tony said, look, have a breather now, have a breather. So I sort of using my feet again instead of overexerting and wasting energy.
I've also just seen probably about 15 minutes ago, Sam's put a tweet up saying that, you know, the rematch has to happen between yourselves. Is there any interest there for you, or is it kind of a fight? You've been there, you've done it, you've got the win, and you're looking beyond that now?
The question is, would Sam have given me the rematch?
If John, to be fair to him in the interview, John said that if he was you, he wouldn't take the rematch.
Yeah.
You,
Listen, money's a big thing in it, do you know what I mean? Obviously, listen, if you get the right offer, it's going to interest you. But now, again, I'm the champion. And it's always going to be a good fight with me and Sam. And like for me now, look at my fights. If you look at my last 6 or 7 fights, look at the opponents I fought. You know what I mean? I don't shy away from fights. The thing is as well, that's the respect I have for Sam Eggington. He don't shy away from fights either. And listen, if the money was right, of course I'll take the rematch. But look at how hard of a fight it was and how grueling it was. It has to be worth it for both of us. You know what I mean? And I'm number 5 in the world now. Do you know what I mean? It's different ball game now. Since obviously I've stopped my gambling and everything. Before I've been pushing for certain fights and everything, shouting names. But now I'm relaxing. I'm taking my time. I'm not in a rush. I'm 24. I've learned a lot. I've had a lot of hard fights. And it's now time for me to just let my manager and coach take full control and let them deal with it. Because otherwise, there's no point in me having a manager or a coach.
The final thing on a possible rematch, Ted. If it was to happen, does it have to happen with an audience?
Yeah, of course. For the money we both probably want, it definitely have to have an audience.
How would you feel that? How much better do you think it would have been, or how much more do you feel you would have thrived if you had, you know, your own fans and family there on Friday night or Saturday night? Sorry.
I don't know. Maybe it might just have set a light a bit earlier. You know what I mean? That's the only thing. And maybe when I sort of hurt him in the second round, I would have been like all out trying to get him out of there. And you fight with a bit more emotion than using your brain.
Ted, obviously moving on and looking towards the future, how, aside from Sam, that is, you know, what are your thoughts with regards to the coming months? How do you see kind of, or who do you see yourself getting in the ring with and mixing with next?
I really don't know, do you know what I mean? This is a massive ranking, do you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy what position I'm in now to where I have been. And it's just all about what's the best opportunity, risk and reward wise. I just got to see what my manager comes back to me with. But I know, obviously, before we were sort of in a rubbish position where I weren't not. It had to be a good fight. You know what I mean? I had to have a good fight. But plus now, I'm back winning. I'm back in an entertaining fight. But with that win, everyone again now goes, Ted Cheeseman sorted his life out. He's back on track in his career. Every fight he has is entertaining. Everyone wants to see me fight. You know what I mean? So for me now, we've got a lot of good thing with the negotiations and stuff and opportunities.
Ted, just from listening just from listening to you speak now, I can hear and I can see how much it does mean to you. But for those who will watch, you know, how much did Saturday night's victory mean to yourself?
What I said again at the start of the interview is me sitting there now happy, buzzing, knowing that my career goes on. I'll hopefully fight again in December, probably in another big, massive fight. Or sitting there still depressed, not wanting to leave my house, not wanting to speak to no one. Definitely wouldn't be on the phone to you, giving you an interview, and thinking about what I'm going to do for work and what I'm going to do for a career now.
Ted, congratulations once again on your victory this past weekend. final word to yourself before I let you go. What would you like to say to everyone who obviously tuned in to watch your fight this past weekend, and then everybody who tunes in to watch our interview?
Just carry on with the journey. Obviously, I've took that turn and pushed on, and everyone, I just want everyone to carry on supporting the journey.
Ted, it's been a pleasure to catch up with you. Obviously, enjoy your victory some more, and I'll hopefully speak to you soon. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Cheers, thanks, mate. Cheers, Andy.